I started triathlon about 6 years ago. I had always been a runner, a little bit of a biker, and not much of a swimmer at all. I got stuck the first time. First race, I felt terrible. I couldn't run after the bike, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life during the race. But then about a day later, I said I absolutely love it, and I haven't stopped since. It's not just you bike for a little bit, you run for a little bit, you swim for a little bit. You have to do all three in concert. But the key is you have to put all three together. You have to get out of the water, and then you have to run to your bike and get going on your bike, and then you have to be able to run after that. It's really a mental game of being able to hold all three together and being able to pace yourself, and also know when to push it and when you need to back down a little bit in order to save yourself for the next leg of that race.
I've played piano since I was about 8 years old. I've played a little bit of everything. I play mostly classical music and some new age pop, and that's what's nice, and that was part of the reason why I wanted to play piano. You could be a one-man orchestra where you play, and you can play a lot of tunes and a lot of different and versatile pieces, so you're not really kind of channeled into one particular area of music. You can play a little bit of everything.
I was a tri-sport athlete, but meaning baseball, basketball, and football. But football, like I say, I wasn't very good at, and I knew I couldn't play it for more than a couple of years. So when I went to golf, I knew I had a sport that I could play a long time. It's nice and frustrating, and it was really the only first individual sport that I was just challenging me. I couldn't blame a teammate dropping the ball out of bounds. I couldn't blame somebody for missing the last second shot. It was me. I was missing the shot. I was the one who hit it in the woods or overshot the green. It was all on me, and so it was definitely a different challenge for me.
I mean, everybody has to have a stress relief or something they do outside of what they do. And it would be quite silly to go home and watch surgical videos all night as my hobby. When I come home, I can play for myself and close the doors and kind of escape, and there isn't any consequences to hitting a wrong note. Hearing music has always been kind of my pastime for relaxing and enjoying stuff. So being able to kind of create and mess around is definitely a way of relieving stress and keeping well balanced.
Golf is very complex sport. It's an individual sport, but it seems like a very easy sport, but it's extremely difficult, and really enjoy it to get out to play as much as I can.
Part of the reason I became a surgeon is when I was at a competition, I had one judge tell me that I played with surgeon, the skill of a surgeon or something on the piano. So I was like, that was really cool. I'm like, well, that sounds kind of interesting. Maybe piqued my interest in something that I had never thought about before. It's often funny how something is so small as a couple encouraging phrases or something like that changes your mind or changes your perception of something or what you do. But something like that triggered my thought about going into medicine and doing something like surgery.
We are all orthopedic surgeons at Grand Haven Bone and Joint, but most of the care we provide is non-surgical. We see a lot of people with either fractures that may or may not need to be reduced or just casted. See a lot of overuse injuries, a lot of folks that we see that have ongoing pain, ongoing problems, and say, oh, I don't need surgery, I don't need to see the surgeon, but most of what we do is non-surgical in nature. When it comes down to needing that surgery, though, we are there to provide that as well.
Well, everybody likes somebody who's had an experience that they're having and understands and can relate to them and knows what they're going through. And someone that has that and knows what they've done in the past to kind of either be preventative or in the treatment of it, it's important to have that perspective.
I've dealt with my own injuries too, my own overuse problems, and something that has slowed me down, but it's definitely something that I have a passion for and really building back up. And I know what the athletes that I see go through. I know the injuries that they have, and I know how to take care of them and get them back in the game.
Definitely being involved with golf. There are many injuries that can occur. A lot of times I'll be having a sandwich at the turn, and some guys will approach me saying, "Oh, hey doc, you're here. My knee's been hurting a little here, a little there, and my ankle or my elbow." So we tend to not talk about work at play, but at the same time we say, let's take a look at it and see if it's something we need to delve in further.
We treat the people that are in and around us, and we also are out in the community doing the same things they're doing. So when someone falls and has an injury somewhere in town, I know right where they've been because I've been there too.
I see a lot of runners and bikers and even swimmers too in my practice as far as different injuries that they have and overuse types of problems. And with that, having experienced that personally myself and experiencing many of those injuries personally as well, I think it gives me insight as to how to treat it and how to empathize with those patients.
We really try to focus on good quality patient care. We're not about the numbers and being the busiest, highest volume practice, seeing hundreds and hundreds of patients. You tend to get a one-on-one focused personal care.
We really like to have a one-on-one care. We don't have assistants doing our work for us. You see the doctor when you come and visit. We spend the time that's needed. We want our patients seen quickly once they come here, but also to schedule appointments for emergencies. It's usually within a day, and for most non-emergent cases, it's usually within a week without a problem.
We talked about the, life is motions. When I meet people, I try to just be genuine, tell them what the issue is. Yes, I'm a doctor, I'm examining real focused areas, but I tell them life is motion. We're going to try to get you back to that. Whether it be your ankle, knee, wrist, elbow, we're going to try to address that. So one of the ways we do that is we do a thorough exam, x-rays, further testing if necessary, and then moving is life. So you come to me, and I always tell people too that when you're seeing me, it's like, oh doc, only 4% of the population has this, but in your book it's 100% because it's you, and we're trying to really focus on it. Life is motion is what our ultimate big goal picture is, whether it be a little elbow sprain, maybe a small fracture doesn't need surgery, or something more involved that does need surgery.
Orthopedics is a bone and joint service. It is something that we deal with all sorts of musculoskeletal injuries and conditions, arthritis, overuse injuries, tendonitis, and so much of that relates to motion. And that's what our whole practice is about, is getting people back to the level of activities that they want, that they used to be able to do and maybe can't do anymore because of an injury or an overuse problem. So a big part of what we do is athletics and sports and activities. So we see a lot of athletes in our office, a lot of people that were big athletes when they're younger and now just can't go for a long walk without having a lot of pain. So a big part of what we do is getting people back to that level of activity that they were before.